Alright guys, hello, this is Zaxter99 again. I'm just putting out another video. This is the day after the big Dallas Cowboy and Detroit game that so many people are yelling and screaming about, so many people are talking about everywhere. Zaxter99. And I just want to show you guys at this point, if we look at the date, right now it is January the 5th, 2015, the day after the big game. I want to show you guys here. This is on Yahoo. We're on Yahoo's website. We're not on NFL.com. We're not on a sports site. I want to show you how big this has exploded, okay, in the news world. Okay, and I know this is exploding across, offices and the talk at the water, at the drinking fountains and the break rooms and stuff like that across, America for sure. But let's take a look at this. On Yahoo.com today, we got Cowboys resiliency clouded by phantom flag. All right, we come down here. We got here's the video of a face mask on the disappearing flag play by the Cowboy. The Cowboy fans are going nuts over. We scroll down here, and this is just getting crazy. NFL head officiating. Cowboys got away with one versus Detroit fans. We scroll down here even more. That's not about it. That's Aikman going over Romo's mechanics. But there are more, just a ton of articles about this here, about the single play and Cowboys and free agents. That doesn't apply. Here it is. Another one here. The fix wasn't in, debunking the crazy Lions Cowboys conspiracy theories. Okay. Scroll down here even more. We got Eagles fans weigh in on the Cowboys' victory over the Lions. Another Cowboys memory bites the dust. There's so many moments where it looked like, and we just got nothing but article after article after article. 5 reasons why Detroit Lions can't complain about the non-call. Just nothing but articles after article after article. Less than 24 hours after the game is over. It's not even 24 hours since that game ended now. And this is just on Yahoo. And again, remember guys, I don't have the sports clicked here. I'm not even looking at sports. I'm looking at all stories. And NFL reaction. NFL officials owe apology to Detroit Lions. Des Bryant could have been flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. So, let's see. Yeah, we just keep going. And I mean, nothing but article after article after article of that particular one play that we're talking about. And my last video is about it. I can put a link down below if you guys can't find it, but I've already made a video about it. I've already looked at all the replays several different times. I haven't listened to most of these articles. I haven't read most of these articles. But here's the thing, guys. Okay? Detroit fans, I understand why Detroit fans are upset about the non-call, especially after the referee went out there and said pass interference on Hitchens. And he said it for everybody could hear. By leaving everybody confused and then picking up the flag and not even saying anything, it left everybody confused. It left a sour taste in everybody's minds. They went back and explained that, the other official had a closer view, and the other official said that the impact was minimal and it didn't really stop Pettigrew, the receiver, from catching the ball, which I don't agree with. But again, I've seen less called for pass interference many, many, many times in the NFL, and I've also seen more not get called. So, the simple thing here is with this, I think since the referee told everybody and said out loud, pass interference penalty on Dallas, it should have been a pass interference. Again, I don't agree with the face mask penalty that, Cowboys fans are creating by looking at the angle. I've seen the angle. Pettigrew barely grazed the face mask of Hitchens. That was while they were running anyway. That was well before the ball got there, and that certainly had no impact and didn't keep Hitchens from turning his head around. Now, Hitchens didn't make a whole lot of contact on Pettigrew. I agree with that. All Hitchens had to do, and this was my initial reaction when I watched the play. When I was watching the play live, I was yelling at Hitchens. I was like, damn it, Hitchens. All I said was Hitchens. I was like, why didn't you turn your head around? All he had to do was turn his head around, and with the impact he made, I think it would have been legit. It would have been legal. All Hitchens had to do was turn his head around, and this would have been completely, a non-factor. But since he didn't turn his head around, he didn't make any play towards the ball. I think it should have been pass interference, and I'm a Cowboys fan. Okay. I also think it should have been pass interference since the referee originally called it for everybody to hear that it was pass interference. I think that's the way it should have stuck. They shouldn't have got together with another official after that and said, oh, okay, well, you don't think it's pass interference? Well, it's not as pass interference. We're just going to go ahead and make it 4th and 1. And even for all the Cowboys fans that are saying there was a face mask, even if there was a face mask, which I don't agree with because I've seen it, I don't think that was a face mask, but that wasn't even called originally. So, but even if there was, the Lions still got kind of screwed because even if there was a face mask, the penalty should have offset each other, and that would have made it 3rd and 1, not 4th and 1, which was the punting situation that the Lions decided to punt. But with everything there is, guys, it all comes down to this. This is bad, and I'm even a Cowboys fan. This is bad for me because this takes away from the satisfaction, from the savor of victory from the Cowboys and from Cowboys fans everywhere. So I wish they would have got it right. I think it was a bad job of officiating the whole game. There was calls and non-calls throughout the whole game, and I was like scratching my head the whole game. It wasn't just this play. Again, if I was a Detroit Lions fan, yes, I would be upset. But here's the thing. Unless we gotta tone this down, take the emotions out of it, and we've still got to look at it. In the NFL, we see non-calls and we see bad calls all the time by the referees. And teams have to find a way to win the game. This wasn't the last play of the game. This play was not the last play of the game and determined who won and who lost. This was early in the 4th quarter. So the important thing here to remember is that the Cowboys still deserve the credit for the victory. The Cowboys were still losing the game when they got the punt. It's not the Cowboys' fault that the punter or that the coach decided to punt on 4th and 1. He could have went for it. He probably would have got it. So that was a bad coaching decision on the Lions, if you ask me. But it's not the Cowboys' fault. He shanked the punt and only kicked it 10 yards or whatever and gave the Cowboys the ball at their own 41. In the end, the Cowboys took the ball where they got it. In the end, the Cowboys were able to drive down and score a touchdown to take the lead 24-20. None of that had anything to do with the no call or the call and the penalty or anything like that. And in the end, there was over 2 minutes left when the Detroit Lions got the ball down 24-20. They took the ball at their own 20-yard line. They started off good. Stafford had a nice run for a 1st down, and then he had, I believe, a 19-yard pass to Calvin Johnson to get to midfield. After that, they got bogged down. There was no penalty here when the Detroit Lions got down to 4th and 3 and couldn't make it. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence gave him every chance in the world. He should have got that when they had the fumble, and DeMarcus Lawrence recovered it and then gave it right back to him. There was the Lions' chance right there. DeMarcus Lawrence handed you your chance by taking the fumble and then dropping it right back to the Lions, which gave the Lions another 1st down where it should have been like 2nd or 3rd down or whatever. So it gave them a completely new 1st down because the ball changed hands right there. So DeMarcus Lawrence, when he dropped the fumble that he should have picked up and just fell on, gave the Lions a chance to win right there, if you ask me. He gave them a 1st down and 10. And then I think after that was when they had the pass to Calvin Johnson. In the end, the Lions were down. They had plenty of time. They had plenty of chances. They could not do what it took to come back and take the lead again in the end. And I know a lot of people, at this point, when the Cowboys took the lead, a lot of people were thinking, the last team with the ball were just going to win. It was starting to look like that. But in the end, the Cowboys played better in the second half. The Cowboys played the game better when it counted. They came back from behind, and they took the lead. In the end, the Lions couldn't do what it took to take the lead at the end and win the game. And they had the chance. So for Detroit Lion fans to be whining and crying now, acting like this single no call on pass interference cost them the game, is utterly stupid and crazy silly. Yes, it's a shame. I agree it's a shame that it wasn't called. I agree that it should have been pass interference. But it didn't cost you the game. You guys still had plenty of chances to stop the Cowboys, and after the Cowboys scored, you had plenty of chance to come back and win, and you couldn't do it. Okay, so that's what's the important thing to remember here. Okay, so it is what it is. You know, in the NFL, you have to adapt. You have to adapt to the situation. And I don't think that anybody I don't think that there's anybody was paid off or anything like that. That's craziness. So in the end, the Detroit Lions were not able to overcome the Cowboys taking the lead. Despite the one play, that didn't cost the Lions the game. What cost the Lions the game was them giving up the drive to the Cowboys and then not being able to drive down and score themselves. And good teams, playoff winning teams, are able to do that when it matters. And again, it's not the Cowboys' fault that the referees didn't see what happened or didn't make the call, or that they made the call and then took it back without an explanation. That's not the Cowboys' fault. Give the Cowboys the credit they're due for defeating the Detroit Lions in the playoff game. Simple as that. So, like I said, if this was the last play of the game or the last drive or something like that, it would be different. But it wasn't. This was early in the fourth quarter. Both teams both teams had plenty of chances to do what they had to do to win the game after this play. Cowboys did. The Lions didn't. So that's my take on the game. You know, a day after. You got to take the emotion out of it. I'm sorry to the Detroit Lion fans that it happened. But, you know, being honest, I don't think the Detroit Lions have a whole lot to be upset about here. You know, especially with what they got away with Ndamukong Suh the week before. The Ndamukong Suh should have been suspended. And then the NFL came back and said he can play. And that was a big factor in the game of the Cowboys. You know, so we can go on all day long. We can go on about, you know, and we can take this all the way through every play. Well, this should have been called, that should have been called, this wasn't called, this should have been called, this was called. We can dissect this game play by play by play, angle by angle by angle by angle, and say, well, this was foul, you guys got more foul than we did, whatever. How far are you going to take this? It is what it is. The refs goofed up. I agree with you on that. But in the end, the Detroit Lions couldn't do what it took to win. The Cowboys could. Cowboys deserve victory. Hats off to my Dallas Cowboys. It's time for the Detroit Lions to quit crying. You got next year. And, you know, the question you guys need to ask is, are you guys going to pay Ndamukong Suh? Are you guys going to, you know, do it again next year? In the end, you couldn't do it this year. And it's not the Cowboys' fault. It's not Jerry Jones' fault. It's certainly not my fault as a fan. You got nothing but your own team to blame. They couldn't do it in the end. That's my take. Be sure you leave your comments down below. Be sure you rate this video. Be sure you subscribe if you want more videos just like this and all kinds of videos from me here at Zaxter99. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care.